Good afternoon. Thank you for joining Palm Beach County for our Words of Wisdom series. Today we have a very special guest, Roberto Arenas, who will be speaking to us about helping others to find their true north, perspectives on mentoring for significance. It's a wonderful topic and we look forward to Roberto. So Roberto, take it away.
Thank you so much, Christine. Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for your time today and for attending with us to talk about mentoring for significance. This is a wonderful topic and it's a topic very close and dear to my heart, you will see. And let's get on with it. Every time I have 30 seconds or so to describe myself or to answer the question, tell me about yourself that many of you have heard, this is what I say. I'm a marketing and technology professional. I've had the privilege and the opportunity to live, study, and work in 3 different countries throughout my life. I have a background both in engineering as a computer scientist and in marketing through a number of studies. And most importantly, relevant to this conversation, all my life I've had a strong passion for helping other people. The way I describe it is become better leaders, become catalysts of change, and be promoters of social impact. I've worked in different companies throughout my tenure, and my background is in management consulting, banking companies, service providers, and most recently, companies that participate in the information technology space. My skill set, or what people call specialties, is all things digital marketing centric strategy and execution. A practice that in large companies they call it customer success, and all kinds of consulting projects involving technology, marketing, change management, process design. But the center of this conversation today is about the part that people call talents, and the difference between the talent and a specialty or a skill set is that talents are things that you're born with. In my particular case, since I can remember, I've always had a zest and I've enjoyed very much developing one-to-one relationships with people. I don't like very much being in crowds or being in the center of a networking event or a party. But I love sitting down, having a nice cup of coffee or maybe a glass of wine and getting to know people, getting to know what's important to them, what makes them tick, what is relevant for them and where they train, how can I help? So that element of me has always been in there. I love to learn and I love to keep getting myself educated in different topics of interest. And those 2 things, the mix of those 2 things have made me a natural people that people look for advice, help, support, training. And there's a definition for a mentor and a coach, how we are different, and we're going to talk about them. But I've been a mentor and coach to many people throughout my life. On top of what I do for a living, and the fact that I want everywhere I go professionally to leave a trail of relevant business innovation, I also have been focused on leaving a trail on positively touched lives. And as you can see, the different areas of place that I've been in University of Miami, for those of you that don't live in South Florida, it's a large college campus in here. I participate formally in the mentoring program for college students in there. I've been a mentor of college students for many years in there. Career Village, for those of you that don't know what it is, it's a virtual community of high school and college students throughout the world that require all kinds of questions and help and guidance from high school into college, from college into the professional world. I've also been many years helping them out. In my companies where I've professionally participated, I've also been focused on helping build, drive, and be a mentor of early in career individuals on marketing, on consulting, on technology. The company that I'm working on is a wonderful software company called MathWorks. I'm starting to build a program that has to do with bringing brand new, very smart engineers off of college to build them qualities and things like design thinking, how to collaborate better, how to communicate better, how to manage difficult problems, things that they don't teach in college. And also Coffee with Kelly is a wonderful community. You will hear from the wonderful leader next week. It's a community of 400 people from the US, from around the world, of people that mostly is people in need, in transition, that have had some hardship in the last couple of years. And I've had a great opportunity to help get to know and mentor a lot of that people. So in my background and throughout my life, mentoring has been a part of me since I can remember. So what is mentoring? A lot of people may confuse mentoring or may think about helping others in different ways. So if you think about the different ways that people can get help from others, a sponsor, for example, is somebody that basically opens the door for you. Think about people that, because of their relationships or the stature in whatever they work, they can help you get a promotion, they get you this new job, they introduce you to somebody that is going to help you get into your master's degree. Whatever the case, it's a transactional relationship in nature, meaning that it's relatively fast, starts and ends with you asking for a favor or asking, I want to do this, do you think you can help me? And that individual, if they have the opportunity, they help you, but it's a short-term engagement. A consultant, for example, is also a transactional engagement in the sense that somebody that has certain expertise professionally or in life matters offers advice to you that you need and you ask for, and typically it's a paid engagement that is either a short or a mid-term engagement. A coach, or other time people exchange terms between coach and professor, the same. It's also a transactional engagement in the sense that coaches or professors basically teaches you new skills, either in the professional side or sometimes in the sports arena if you're a coach and you participate in a professional team of some sort. But the focus of a coach or professor is increase your skill set in different ways. And in the mentor case, mentor is different. A mentor is a relationship-based engagement, meaning that the first component of that is you're getting to know the person. You're getting to know individually that people that is going to become your mentee, and that is going to be a foundation for the rest of the things you're going to help that person with. It's typically a mid to long-term relationship. It can start as an engagement from your company, for example, that assigned you a mentor for 6 months or however long, or it can be in the context of some of the environments that I described before, that is non-professional, that you get to know. It can be formal, it can be informal, but it evolves into a relationship that in my particular case, I've had people that we've been friends and I've mentored for many, many years to this day. So the purpose of a mentor, in contrast to the others, is that the mentor helps you uncover and become the best version of yourself in order for you to have the path and understand how you're going to achieve your own life success, understand what it means for you specifically to you individually, and for you to do it, not for the mentor to do it for you. The best way that I've read that is there's a contrast and a difference in between them is a sponsor talks about you, a coach talks to you, and a mentor talks with you. They do it together. They do it in partnership. So how do they do it? A mentor basically facilitates that self-paced self-discovery journey. Self-paced meaning things can happen or you can get to a place that you understand yourself better in a couple of weeks or maybe in a couple of months, maybe a year. There's no rush. It's at your own pace and it's based on what you want and need to get off of that relationship. And it's of self-discovery. Little by little, you are the one that are uncovering what is it that you want from yourself and where you want to go. You'll talk in a second how mentors do that. But it's basically a self-discovery journey. The kinds of things, as opposed to a new skill that maybe a coach helps you excel, learn Excel or teaches you how to do marketing strategy, or teaches you how to play football better in the case of the sport. The kind of things that a mentor mostly helps you with is understanding your own values. That sounds easy and is fast to say, but a lot of people struggle understanding what their values are in life. What is the real potential? We discussed a little bit about the talents. What is a natural born talent, and how do I make that talent into a strength of mine versus acquiring a skill that I didn't born with, but I can develop. Those are two different things. And as you start getting to know yourself better and getting to know what do you really want to use those lemons that the life gave you to make the kind of lemonade that you want to make, then that individual, that mentor helps you find that path and identify where is it that you want to be pointed at for you to then start or continue working that path at your own pace to get to the point where you're living the life that you want to be, that you are meant to be, and that you've discovered with the help of that individual. So it's not a transactional engagement, it's not to learn a new skill, it's to help you succeed in your own life. So the kind of mentors that I've known throughout my life that have been the best at helping me do that, and I've seen people throughout the industry and in my life that I don't know, but I've learned a lot from them on a distant mentorship relationship, if you will, is people that first and foremost, they ask a lot of questions. They never start by, you should do this, you should do that. In my opinion, this is the way to go. They just listen and say, okay, tell me more. What do you think about this? And why do you feel this other way? Is fundamentally through questions and listening very actively that they start enabling you to uncover the kind of answers you're looking for within yourself. They don't give you the answers, they help you discover within yourself. That fundamentally is through a lot of questions, listening very closely. You never hear a good mentor offer their judgment or their opinion or whether that's right or that's wrong. There's no right or wrong when somebody's helping you discover yourself. It's just you getting to a conclusion that I didn't know that about me, or I didn't think that was the case, or I thought it was this way, and now I realize it's this other way. They never admit judgment. They naturally are open to different perspectives, different points of view, different cultures. They accept, value, and embrace the fact that for you, if you are the mentor and somebody you're trying to help is from a different country, speaks a different language, comes from a different background, then what is good for you may not be good for these other people because of how he or she sees the world. So understanding that is also very important and being aware of it. Obviously, somebody that instills and transmits trust, that is somebody that is never going to tell you something that he or she doesn't think you shouldn't tell just because it's going to hurt you or because it sounds hard. It's candid in everything that they tell you because it's needed. It's certainly somebody that you as a mentee, you recognize as somebody that is knowledgeable, that has the background, the experience, and most importantly, the temperament, because it's one thing to be a really good teacher, a good coach, a good consultant, because you have all this knowledge. But if you're going to be a good mentor, the ability to develop that one-on-one relationship and develop that trust is fundamental to be somebody that can help other people based on that knowledge. And also, if you are going to focus your contribution on helping other people discover that within themselves and ask questions, you need to be curious and you need to be open, avid, and wanting to get more and more and more knowledge of all kinds. Eventually, you get your own domains of knowledge. But the best mentors that I've known or that I've heard of from is people that never stop wanting to know more. They're always curious and they have that perspective and they sit down and learn something new from individuals, just asking questions and listening. That's difficult to do. Just ask questions, listening, and not try to jump immediately to say something that you think is the right thing to do. That's not as easy as it sounds, and the best mentors in the world are that kind of people. I'm sure you've heard the notion of give something efficient, that person is gonna be fed for the day. But teach somebody how to fish, and that person will be fed for life. It's the same thing. The mentors, the best ones, teach you how to think and how to approach things and how to have perspective. They don't teach you what to think or what to say or what to do, what not to do. That's a very important quality of them. When you go to a class or when you have a consulting engagement or other kind of help, it's structured in many ways. They go to your office or you go to class, or perhaps you get a meeting for this particular guy to open you a door. A mentor, you may have set times in which you have, perhaps monthly conversations or weekly conversations, but times will come when you have trouble or you have this unforeseen circumstance, some life happen and you feel really depressed, really drained, something really bad in your mind happened to you, you need to talk to him. And that can be Sunday at 6 a.m., or that can be on a Friday, or that can be at 7 a.m. on a Monday, whatever the time it is and whatever the mentor is doing, at some point, the mentor will be needed in unforeseen circumstances, and good mentors are always available for the most part, but that's a very important feature of them. And at the end, those mentors provide a good guidance framework, a good set of tools, if you will, to enable the mentee to, through those questions, through their own answers and through their own realizations, how is it that they want to find and go through that path that we discussed before. And as they do that, they grow and they evolve into the person they want to be, and before they didn't even know it. So this is in general what a mentor is, how a good mentor approaches helping others and what kind of qualities they have. And the best quote that I have found that I think describes this almost to perfection is Simon Sinek's a quote that says, a mentor is not somebody that walks ahead of you and show you how they did things. A mentor is somebody that walks alongside you and show you what you can do. That is the most important difference between one and the other, I think. So before I move to the next topic, I'll stop there. It's a lot to digest. That's the story of a mentor. That's the story of what a mentor does for a mentee and what the best mentors of the world look like, in my opinion. So I'll stop there and see if you guys have any questions or observations before we move on.
If you have any questions, feel free to unmute yourself.
You good?
Mm-hmm.
Shy crowd, eh?
Oh, we do have.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I just have one question for Roberto.
Mm-hmm.
When we want to know you're ready to be a mentor?
Mm-hmm. That's a fantastic question. Thank you for the question. Well, to an extent, and as I said before, people is born with certain natural talents, and people, based on those natural talents, can do better certain things than others. So there's people that will naturally be not necessarily open, ready, able, and good to develop that one-on-one relationship with people that may be needed. But there's really good mentors that are more in the mode of one-to-many, like these people like Simon Sinek, Tim Ferriss, Tony Robbins, people that we all know are really good, John Maxwell. I'm sure they are great one-on-one, but there's also people that are really good at sharing that message with the masses of people. So if you know that it is in your heart and you want, as part of your life, to help others, that can come in the form of many ways. If you're a fantastic cook like Chef Andres, you can help others through feeding people in need, or you can help others by teaching them certain things. If you are born a mentor, you will know it because of how you enjoy naturally, and you prefer to spend time with one-on-one people as opposed to prefer in front of 50 or 60, 70 people. And if that's the case, there's tools to prepare you better and to make you a better mentor. Hopefully, with the list that we saw before, you will have a better feeling of what you may be good at and you're not. And things like, for example, when you are a mentor, the role of a mentor can be interchanged easily with somebody that you're mentoring into a coach or into a professor or into a mentor, because that person you're helping, all of a sudden needs this door to be open, or it needs advice on something punctual, or it needs to learn PowerPoint. You help them, you become in the next week a coach, but then you go back to a mentor. So you can be all those things. You will be ready if you know that you like to do that mentor or not. You like to sit down with people, help them, and to become a better mentor. Some of the tools to become the right mentor, hopefully you got them on the previous slides. But I guess my observation is you will know if you're born to be a good mentor, if you're born to be a mentor, if you're born to be perhaps a teacher. A great teacher not necessarily means a great mentor. And if you want to, there's like any other talents that you were born with, ways to improve it, get better. One of the skills that I've been working all throughout my life with this that is very difficult is to only ask questions and stop the urge to jump into, oh, you should do this, you should do that. It's very difficult if you want to become a good mentor. But hopefully that gives you a perspective on when will you know if you know that you were born to that. Did that help?
Yes, thank you.
Thanks.
Very good. All right. So I'm going to share with you what my own personal bag of tools, and obviously if you Google mentorship frameworks or how do good mentors do their work, or the 3 A's of mentor, God knows how many dozens of frameworks there are out there in the internet. But this is my own personal experience, the tools that I found I've been able to help people with, and hopefully this helps you in some way. So the first one is, the way I describe it is I'll tell you my story, you'll tell you mine. Everything needs to start with a conversation, with the focus of the first few sessions is only to get to know Christine or Karen or Fabia or Luisa or John. We'll see later on how is it that I can help you and what is it that you're looking for in the relationship. But first and foremost, who are you, not only professionally, but who are you personally? What are your concerns? What's your background? Where are you coming from? Where do you want to go? If you have an answer for some of these questions, you may or may not. But get to a point where everything that surrounds a person, the inner elements and the surroundings, and what at that point in time that person is struggling with, what is most proud of, what they need, all that is a foundation for the rest of the tools in the bag, if you will. So that's very important to me, and I invest a lot of time on that. The second one is, I call it mind and body in the right state. And I picked a lot of these elements from different people that I've learned from and I've had conversations with. Every single one of these bullets deserves a multi-hour conversation on it, so I'm going to cover them really quick. And after that, I told Christine and Karen, if anybody of you is interested in continuing the conversation or get deeper in one of them, more than happy to. But let's just give it a try. Nothing is more important for us to change the course to where we want to go than having the right mindset, and in this case, the right body. So mindset is the life we live inside our brains. Nothing is truly good, beautiful, and nothing is truly awful or disgraceful. Everything is good or bad based on how your own brains interpret whatever it is that we're listening or seeing or living to. So in order for us to achieve everything we want to achieve, we need to get ourselves or get our mind into what Mr. Tony Robbins called an emotional home, a positive emotional home that is every day priming itself or getting ready to the day in front of them with positive feelings, with gratitude instead of any other negative feeling. Problems are going to happen. They're bound to happen. And from now until the day we die, which can be off, knock on wood, but it can be next week, can be a year from now, or it can be 30 years from now. Nobody knows. But until that time comes, we're going to face problems. And if we face problems with a negative mindset, it's going to be a handicap for us to face them. So having a positive mindset is fundamental to that. Also telling ourselves the right story, and I'm sure you've heard this, the story we tell to ourselves element is also very important, because when we, for some reason throughout our life, say, oh, I'm always going to lose a ping pong, or I'm this guy that never is on time, or I will never be able to find my bearings and orient myself to get to the house of whatever it is that you tell to yourself, oh, I'm never going to be able to do this, or I will be always bad at that. You may or may not, or that may or may not be true. But if that's what you're telling yourself, that becomes your reality. And that reality is called a limiting belief. So when you tell a story that is negative and limits yourself in some ways, then you live a reality when maybe you are in a Ferrari, but you are in first gear and you can get second, third, or fourth because you yourself are limiting your ability to move faster because of your own thoughts. So if you change those limiting beliefs, exchange them for what is called empowering beliefs. I can get there. I can figure out how to do these other things. I am always late. No, starting now, I'm always going to be on time, and that's going to change. If you change those beliefs, discard the others, and put the new ones in front of you, then you unleash your new identity. The power of identity is incredible. And the best story that I tell from that end is there's a lot of instances where people define their identity on their job role. I'm the VP of this, and I'm the director of that. And there's nothing wrong with that, but that's who you are. Well, at some point, a year from now, a week from now, 10 years from now, but that day is going to come. You're not going to be the VP of that anymore. When you're not, then you're not going to be, you'll be nobody then? Of course not. You are somebody that brings value to the table, that has a tremendous skill set, that has history, that can help people, and has a lot to share with or without that kind of role or anything else outside of you. You are of value and you are enough. But if you define your identity as the director of this or the manager of that, the moment you lose it, you lose your footing. So if you redefine your identity with, this is the person I am, my circumstances today is I work in this place, I contribute to this other, that's going to change tomorrow? Yes, that is going to change tomorrow, period. But no matter what changes, I am the same. And I have these empowering beliefs and I am positive about that, then a lot of things you will be able to switch and change, but you need to have a positive identity and you need to fill your mind with empowering beliefs, take away those things that are always limiting your ability to move forward. Feed and nurture your mind, read as much as you can, learn as much as you can from people, follow people that are wisdom, be curious about getting to learn something new as often as you can that helps the part of your brain that is dormant. And feed and nurture your body. That's again a topic that is near and dear to my mind, and I'm a huge enthusiast of health and wellness. But eating well, sleeping well, managing your stress, and also move constantly is going to give you, if you have the mind in the right place, the energy that you really need to face each one of these, because you need to do this and you need to prepare and train your mind every single day. It is not a one thing exercise and then it's going to help you for the next year. Every single day you need to wake up, make sure you have the emotional home in the right place, make sure you have the right identity, tell yourself and repeat yourself something. It becomes muscle memory, the limited, the empowering beliefs, then you're ready for whatever is in front of you. And that includes energy. How many times you've seen people that when they talk, they're like, yeah, I'm very motivated. I like what I do. Those are words, but at the end of the day, when you see the body language, when you see the people, the tone of what the words that they are using doesn't look like it. But when you spend part of your day listen, and it's funny the way that this gentleman, Tony Robbins, does that. He stops every hour doing whatever he's doing, whatever his squad is doing, and for 1 minute you jump, for 1 minute you dance, you get a song of whichever liking of yours, you stop and you stand up and dance. Sounds crazy. I say you feel silly. After the first day, you can start doing it and you feel completely different when everything you do in your day. Try it out. If nothing else, as you finish this, start your day tomorrow, every hour or so, stop what you're doing, get in your iPod or in your phone, your favorite song, dance for 30 seconds, and you'll see how you feel and how different the energy levels that you get look like. But that's mind and body in the right state. Clarity. Perhaps the most critical of all. Again, is here just read and describes that what's behind it. There's no possible good outcome if you are not walking into the right path in your life to where you want to go. And to discover that path, you need to do a lot of work with your mentor or with whomever helps you to understand and discover your values, to discover your purpose, uncover and work your talents to make them your strengths. Ask yourself, what are my goals in life? What is your strategy? The interesting question on your goals that I will always ask people that put you to think is, what do you want to do? What's your goals in life? And perhaps you have something for the next year or for the next week or for the next month. Crazy enough, maybe you have the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years mapped out. But have you thought of, well, let's think about everyone 80 years of age, and you're in front of the people you love the most. And every one of those individuals is going to stand up in front of the rest of your lovely crowd, and it's going to tell all of them what they are proud of you about and what you've accomplished for your life and what's your legacy. So the question to you is, what do you want them to say? That's 80 years. Who knows? Do you have clear that answer? Maybe, maybe not. But if you don't, then there's a lot of these things that as you move in life, any route sounds good if you don't have that clear. That's the kind of things that clarity brings to you. Once you're clear on that, then focus is important because you don't waste time moving into any different direction. You don't waste time trying things that you don't know where you're going to go. You have your path and you're walking your path. You just are trying different ways to walk your path better, faster, enjoying the ride. And then the focus is not on limiting beliefs or the wrong identity or bad things or lack of energy. The focus is, what is it that you have today instead of what you don't have, being grateful. What are the things you can control? Because there's a lot of things in this world, the vast majority of things we cannot control. And one piece that is also very important is living in the moment. There's 3 types of people in this world. People that are future-centric, people that are present-centric, and people that are past-centric. And it's very difficult. There's naturally people that is concerned about the future. And that gets you stressed. That gives you a lot of anxiety because you don't know what's going to happen in the future. But you're anxious about it naturally. Or people that live in the past. And you feel negative, you feel demotivated. That gives you are depressed because there's a lot of things that you could have done, you should have done, you didn't do better. There's nothing to do about it, but you keep thinking about it. So the best possible way to live a life that is going to nurture you and make you happier is to live in a place where you can do something about it, and the only place where you can do something about it is today. Tomorrow, nobody knows. And if you have the focus in there, the energy goes there. That's something that is never going to fail. And last but certainly not least, as you walk all those, and you might have the benefit to have a good mentor with you, you have your mind, your body in the right place. You know where you want to go. You have the focus on that, but you really don't know if what you want to do in life is going to take you 6 months, 6 weeks, 6 days, or maybe 6 years. You just don't know. But you need to stay the course. You need to take what Mr. Tony Robbins calls massive action, and John Maxwell called it intentional living, the same thing. You need to be absolutely intentional to do what you have to do every single day. And as long as you're doing it, and as long as you're facing the right direction, as Kelly Merrill says, it's a matter of time. You are going to get there. And as you do, I think there's absolutely nothing wrong with pacing yourself and saying, well, I am a driven person, I'm a focused person, I'm concentrated in my goals. So I'm going to work every day on those. There's nothing wrong with on a Wednesday afternoon or a Friday afternoon or maybe in the morning. I'm just going to go visit my dad and have a coffee with them, or take my child that is right now off of school for the summer to go to the beach. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. People think that they have certain obligation, but you really don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. So if you want to do certain things, just do them. And that live your life one day at a time is probably one of my favorite sayings, because you need patience, perspective, and gratitude to get where you want. But once you get there, and I'm sure you've had that feeling at some point in your life, you wanted that promotion. Maybe you wanted to buy that car or get that house or whatever it is that was your goal. You get there, you get this fantastic feeling of accomplishment. But once you have it, it's going to last a day, hours, maybe a week. It will get to a point where you will go back to feeling the way you felt before you got there. It's weird, but you will get there. So how is that different? When you live your life every day the way you want it to be, and then you mix professional with personal living and you enjoy it more, that daily enjoyment eventually aggregates a lot more than having that car and having that house. Actions and events and times with people that you love, or times doing what you love, eventually count more than anything material, in my own humble opinion. But this is my tricks bag, if you will, and my own personal way in which throughout the years I have been able to help people in different ways. But the conversation is also about significance, is mentoring for significance. So let's talk for a second about significance. What is significance? And in the context that we are having the conversation, a life of significance is simply a life lived to make a difference and a positive impact in the life of others. That's how it's described by Nelson Mandela, how it's described by Mr. John Maxwell. When you live your life for others, that not everybody is born to do that, and that's perfectly right. But when you were born and you have the desire and you have the will to live your life for others, having a life of significance is making sure that you do that, and that there is a positive impact on, maybe it's one person, and that is perfectly fine. Maybe it's 10 persons, maybe it's millions in the case of all these wonderful people. The element of having a positive impact in the life of others and devoting your life to that, that is living a life of significance. And for those of you that may be interested and may not have heard of that, John Maxwell has launched this book and has this initiative that now is a big movement around the world that is called Change Your World. His notion is, if you have the will and if you have the tools, you can change not the world, you can change your world. And changing your world means you can change the life of your mother, your sister, maybe your husband. Maybe it's one person, maybe 6, maybe it's 10. But whatever it is, you're changing your world. And if eventually you build that into a multiplying effect, he's right now, after a few years of launching this, impacting millions and millions of lives around over 100 countries in the world. But it starts with you, and it starts with one person and changing one life. So what are these steps that he describes on the significance journey that come very well to bear on living a significant life that is going to be around mentoring? So it starts with wanting to help other people, having that heart, as I shared before. Then you do something that makes a difference. Is it mentoring? Fantastic. Is it not? It doesn't matter. If you describe through your own discovery journey that what you're good at is not lemons, but maybe mangoes or maybe strawberries or maybe whatever, you use your own fruit. And then you build your own kind of lemonade, but through your own superpowers, if you devote those superpowers to make the difference in the life of one person, then you are doing something of significance with people that makes a difference. I'm sure you've heard this, and if not, this is probably one of the most powerful notions that I personally have experienced, adopted, and lived in my life. You become the average of the 5 people you hang out the most with. Proximity is power. So if you want to become a person of help, a servant leader, somebody that is focused on helping others, surround yourselves with people whose focus is that. If you want to become a great chef, surround your people that are experts on cuisine. If you want to go and get into the bad life and go to drugs and start smoking, surround with people that does that for a living, and eventually you will. So the people that you surround yourself with dictates eventually in a tremendous part the kind of person you become and the kind of impact you generate. Definitely you alone, you cannot do anything of significance in the world. You need at least another to help. But that another can help another and help another, and eventually it becomes a movement. So who is more important than how? And we is more important than me. That's very, very important. And today, we discussed before, hopefully it makes sense to you, but what we could have done yesterday, it's gone. Whatever we did is done. Whatever we didn't do is done. What are we going to do tomorrow depends entirely on what we want to do. But what we can do today is the only thing we can control. So as he describes, the pages of your significant story are written day after day after day, one day at a time. That's very, very important. So how do we pull these pieces together? Well, we've talked about mentoring, we've talked about significance. And the title of the conversation is Perspectives on Mentoring for Significance. So how do we bring it together? What is it mentoring for significance? And very simply is living a life focused on helping others, as we described before, uncover the best version of themselves and helping them achieve their own life success defined by them. So using that superpower that you have and using that time that you devote to that, you make a difference in the world of one person, or perhaps in the world of 100 or in the world of thousands. It doesn't matter. You're making a difference in the world, no matter how many people you impact. But that is mentoring for significance. Recently, we had the privilege to have Mr. John Maxwell himself attend one of the sessions that we have at Coffee with Kelly. You will hear next week from the wonderful leader of our community, Kelly Merble, amazing individual that I had the privilege to call my friend. And throughout the hour, there were tons of pearls of wisdom. But the one that resonated with me the most and that will stay with me the rest of my life, he says, once you've tasted significance, you will not need success anymore. That is a different kind of feeling, and that is a different kind of achievement. And you understand it, feeling, and live it in a completely different way when somebody else accomplishes something they wanted to accomplish because of the guidance and help and mentorship you were able to give it. Eventually that has more weight and makes you happier than getting anything material or achieving anything on your side. It's a wonderful feeling. And if this is for you, if the day comes that you feel it, you're going to feel really good. It's fantastic. And I love that quote from him. It's a tremendous way to describe how living a life of significance is something that is going to fill your days for the rest of your life. So with that, my parting thoughts, and hopefully we have enough time for any questions that you all may have, is if I leave with anything, is these few things. Mindset is everything. We talked about that. You live your life inside your own brain. Everything is wonderful or everything is horrible based on how you interpret each one of the things that happen to you on a daily basis. Positive mindset is the foundation of everything. The moment you understand that when you're born with natural talents and that it's better for you to work on your talents, nurture them and focus on them as opposed to working on overcoming your weaknesses, your life changes. And this particular quote came from a book from a methodology that is called Strengths Finder, Gallup. And this is not a commercial for Gallup in any way, shape, or form. There's another set of methodologies, but I happen to have used Gallup, and it's a fantastic one if you're interested. And one phrase that is stuck in my brain strongly is, you cannot be anything you want to be, but you certainly can be a lot more of who you already are. Think about it. It's within you. Yeah? Clarify your values, and this is one of the, interestingly, ironically enough, is one of the most difficult things to do. Tell me your values. And if you start with a list of 30, 40 values, I want to be positive, and I want to be empathic, and I want to be focused on giving others. And the list is endless. Are all those good things you want to be? I want to be all of them. But what are your values? What do you care the most about? That journey is not simple, and a lot of people don't know it, and it makes you struggle and it makes you doubt. So when you live a life that is not congruent, what is truly important to you, you are not satisfied. And you need to turn that around, understanding, documenting, and living your values every day. That's very important. And as we discussed many times, take massive action. If nothing else, it's something that you've heard today is of help to you, take one or two of them and start doing them today, not tomorrow, today. Take massive action and live intentionally, make a plan, anticipate what you want to do. And one thing that I tell a lot of people that I'm trying to help is, don't prioritize your schedule, schedule your priorities. Your schedule is what other people want from you, and is what other people want you to do for them. Your priorities is what you want to do for yourself. So I'll repeat it. Don't prioritize your schedule, schedule your priorities. It's very important to live intentionally on what you want to do with your own life. So the path from good intentions to intentional living is made with things that you do every day. This material, I'm sure, is going to be shared with all of you, and I'll leave you with some of the resources. A lot of the notions and the concepts that you heard today comes from books from people like Ryan Holiday, John Maxwell, of course, Tony Robbins, Tim Ferriss, Simon Sinek, the gentleman from the quote. If you do nothing else but to read one book, read The Obstacle is the Way from Mr. Ryan Holiday. It's an amazing book. It's a book that is going to give you a strong perspective and teach you how to effectively approach and solve any problem you're going to face for the rest of your life. And that is going to change your life in so many ways. But all of these are valuable resources, and all of them are tremendous people to follow up and to learn from. Now with that, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. And the only favor that I always ask people when we have these kind of conversations is, if you learn something from it, if you're going to apply it and you think of its value, please pay it forward. Share it with somebody else, teach it to somebody else, have somebody else understand if they can be good mentors, or read that book. Anything that you can share with others is going to eventually generate a multiplying effect. And hopefully that helps. Thank you. And if there's any question, any comment, any observation, I'm happy to answer them.
If you have any questions, please unmute yourself.
Thanks so much, Robert, for your time in preparing this presentation and sharing with us. Thank you very much for that. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Roberto. It's a pleasure.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I just want to say hi. This is Luisa over here with Fabia. I definitely want to say it's been a big change on me. Definitely focusing on my values and that big thing that Roberto said. You know, don't prioritize your agenda, prioritize yourself, right? When you write things down and you stick to your values, it's definitely made a big change on me and in my focus and attention so that the energy flows exactly like Roberto's presentation says. So I really want to thank Robertico because of how wonderful his mentoring has been and how it's created a big change in my life.
Thank you, Lisa. I appreciate it.
And I see we have a lot of comments in the chat as well. And we had someone who missed the presentation, but look forward to the recording. So for those of us on the line, you will be able to, within the next day or two, find the recording on the Encore Palm Beach County YouTube site. So just look for Encore Palm Beach County. All our presentations of late are on the YouTube site. And it looks like some people might have been, there we go, might have had some issues getting in and out there for a while. So please be sure to look for the presentation there. And Roberto, you did a fabulous job. I'm so pleased to hear everything you said because I consider myself a mentor, and so you really gave me some great insights and information. And I think you need to change the presentation to something like rules for living or living a successful life, because I don't think it's just for mentors. I think everything that you shared is really for us to be the best version of ourselves. And so I think it's very valuable, and I look forward to sharing it as well. Thank you so much. It was excellent.
It's my pleasure, Christine. It's my pleasure.
Thank you. And if there are any other questions?
Don't be shy. You guys have any questions or any observations? Was any of these useful? What resonated to you the most? Curious to hear.
Happy to hear your comments. Okay, so we've got some thumbs up there and some hands clapping. Okay, we'll take it.
Thank you for staying the hour here. I appreciate your time. It's valuable to you.
Thank you. Thank you as well. And also, I would like to invite everyone to join us next week when Kelly Merbla will be joining us. And we're looking forward to that. And that is on the 20th. That is on Tuesday next week. And be happy to have you join us on our website as well. All our events are posted there, all our upcoming events. And also there's information on our Words of Wisdom event coming up in October. That's definitely something you want to find out more about and be a part of. It's a groundbreaking event. Karen Roberts is a huge impetus in that. And so we're really excited to see that happen. So if you'd like to learn more about that, be sure to visit the website, stay in touch. We will be adding you to our email list. We do not spam, but we do share some great information about what's coming up. So if there are no further questions or comments, thank you again, Roberto. Thank you everyone for joining us today, and have an awesome Wednesday.